welcome to another edition of Reading with Mrs. Richardson. And of course, I am Mrs. Richardson, and I am joined again by the students here at Raleigh Egypt Middle School. Our last episode, we talked about crime overall in the city of Memphis and Shelby County and just here in the neighborhood and community of Raleigh. So go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us who we have joining us today.
My name is Kamaya Jones.
My name is Tyrus Murphy.
My name is Amaya Boyle.
My name is Kaden Taylor.
All right. Unlike our last episode, we just want to jump right in, right? Because this is something that's having a major effect on your school. You know, the last time we sat and recorded, we had a table full of students. And today, that's not the case because of an incident that happened. And since we're talking about gun violence and crime in our community, who wants to just jump in and say what's going on? Why do we not have a lot of students here today?
We don't have a lot of students here today because there will be a shooting happening at the Raleigh Egypt High School.
So there was a threat made, as you've seen in schools across the country, people call in threats. So today at Raleigh Egypt Middle, there was that same instance that happened where a threat was made against the school, and as a natural precaution, a lot of parents decided to keep their kids at home. So let me just ask y'all, because I've been a teacher in the classroom and we have gone on lockdown countless times because of threats. What goes through your mind as a student every time you hear that there's a threat? And mind you, with this case, there was actually a shooting at another location involving a student at another school that's not too far from here. So what goes through y'all's minds when that happens?
Well, when I think of someone threatening to shoot up the school, my first thing is my protection of me and my brothers. Some of the things that going on inside my head, I think of, will we make it out? Will I die? Will I die protecting somebody? Will somebody probably die protecting me? Will I live? How much will this affect, traumatize some of the students around me, and many other different things?
All right, who else wants to share thoughts, just knowing that something like this is happening? Talk to us. Go ahead, baby. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts about hearing that it's another potential crime happening? Are you numb to it? You're not numb to it yet? Does it even faze you knowing that someone got shot yesterday? Knowing that it was a student, why not? Talk to us.
If it fazed me, I won't be here in school today.
Okay, so he's taking on the approach of, it's happened so often. It's sometimes it phases me. Sometimes it's almost as if you feel like it's become the norm. Okay, all right. Who else? What are your thoughts when you found out? Hey, my class is missing today. School empty. There, literally this morning when I pulled up to the parking lot, there were police everywhere on campus. Did y'all see the police this morning?
Yes.
Thoughts on that?
I feel like we need to make our environment safer than how it was, and we just need to get some more policemen to serve the community.
Okay, so you would like a larger presence of authorities, police on campus. So being that you are in campus and it's pretty much an open free for all in the sense of, sure, you have to be, go through security checkpoints once you enter the building, but once you're in, you're in. How safe do you all feel coming to school every day? How safe do you feel coming to school every day?
I don't feel very safe knowing that people could probably shoot up the school with me and my brothers in there.
So when you heard the news, what was your first thought when you heard about what was happening or what happened yesterday?
When I heard the news, I was scared to go to school, but my mama made me go to school because she didn't see the news.
So you came to school not knowing what happened? Did you find out once you got to school? How many of y'all knew about it or beforehand, before you came to school?
Last night my brother saw somebody posted out threatening to shoot the high school.
So there's this post, again, in comes social media, where there are threats that are made online, and you have to take every threat as if something is going to happen. So that's why there is a heavy presence of police on campus today. But it goes to what can be done? Enough is enough, and people are fed up. There are people I know, and you know both, that are afraid to leave their homes because of violence, not just petty thefts. I mean, there are people walking around with weapons, and I know y'all have seen the videos online when people have these weapons hanging them out all out the windows, or they have these kids that have these what are they, Uzis or whatever they're called, Draco, whatever, but they're huge, they're massive, and the kid is this little. What is going on? Why is there a need to hurt people? You know, and I always say this: hurt people hurt others. But not only that, if you go years as a child of going through trauma, right? Remember we watched in the video, it talked about childhood traumas, ACEs, and how that goes with you and carries into adulthood. Then you have adults who harm people, young adults who are hurting people, who really never got treated for childhood traumas. So then, you know, the plan today was to go right in and talk about drugs. But when I pulled up on campus today and I saw there were police literally everywhere. And to hear what happened in retaliation, y'all had a basketball game last night and they didn't allow spectators to be there because of a potential threat. Now, it was an away game, right? Was it here? So y'all had a game last night. Was it here or the high school?
High school.
It was a high school. But you all are literally right next door to each other, behind. So you look out the window and you see the high school, but they had a game, a high school game, and no one was allowed to go but the players and the coaches, because there was a fear of retaliation or a brawl or a shootout. Something has got to give. So we have got to hold people accountable for this, right? Who do we, I don't want to say put the blame on, but who should we hold more accountability with? Who are we looking at? Who should we say, come on, let's come to the table, let's talk about this, let's figure out a solution, okay? Time out for talking, let's put some action behind what we're saying. Who do you all think we should have included in, if we were to have a conversation to make things right, to turn Raleigh and Memphis around? Who should be included in that?
The president, and maybe he should.
Okay, let's think, the president, but let's think about on a local level. So you're talking, the president is someone who's elected. So maybe an elected official, maybe someone who represents our community. Maybe you have a state representative, you have a city councilwoman, you have a county commissioner, you have an elected mayor, you have all of these people that are in these elected positions, which is why voting matters. Who else would you like to see? Because it doesn't all fall on them. Who else should be at the table? Okay, police. All right, you want to have police? Okay, someone from the district, from the school district. Okay, who else would you want to have? What about parents? Right? What about kids, students? No? Okay, y'all say no, why not?
Because they could get hurt.
I can't hear you.
Because they could get hurt.
Well, if we're just having a conversation about crime and ways to fix it, you wouldn't want to include students?
Anything could pop off.
Well, I think in a safe environment, like how we're having a conversation sitting at a table now, and if we could have across sitting from us people who are influential and in positions and spaces to make a difference and a change, I think it would be okay to have you all, because you all live this every day. You know, it's one thing for a person like me, or an elected official or a school district personnel who works behind an office, to come in and say a few words, but what happens next? We go back and we go on about our day and go to the next thing, whereas what? You're still here, right? Yeah. Man, that was a lot this morning to walk in and see that so early in the morning. The other thing that we discussed was drugs, right? So we made a list and you all told me your top 7 or 8 things that you all felt were a concern, and you all mentioned drugs. Why are drugs a problem for Memphis, for Raleigh, for your school, for your neighborhood. Why are drugs a problem? Let me just start off by saying this. Raise your hand if you know someone who has done drugs. And yes, weed is a drug. Raise your hand if you know someone who's done a drug. Raise your hand, keep your hand up if you know someone your age that does drugs. Weed. This is a safe space, y'all. Okay? You remember I used to teach middle school, so I know what goes on. Raise your hand if you know someone that has ever gotten sick from drugs. Anybody know anyone who's ever died from drugs? Hands are still up, yeah? How scary is that? Knowing that one potential, because now, you hear edibles is a thing now. Y'all know about edibles, y'all know about vaping, right? And in my school where I taught, we actually had it where it's like, okay, is that a bag of Skittles on the floor that you're throwing away? Or is that a bag of edibles that looks like a pack of Skittles? Because they make everything in edibles now, and it's legal in some places. What are your thoughts on how drastically things have changed because of drugs?
It's scary.
It's scary?
Yes.
Why so?
Because what if you're like in your friend's house and their parents have edibles in the refrigerator, and they're like, you can go in and have whatever you want, and you might just come across their edibles.
True story. At my school, they were passing around candy. True story. This legit happened a couple of years ago. And all these kids eating candy, or so they thought they were eating candy. Whole classroom full. You know what it was? It was edibles. And not everyone reacted the same, because you think you're eating candy and it's a fun pack, but you eat the whole bag. Things can go wrong real quick. And fortunately, those students were okay, but we just saw the news of where a student died at a school not far from here, a county over, at school getting high. And there are even, how many of y'all know people who straight up just don't care, and they'll come to school and smoke their weed? Because there have been plenty of times I've gone in my school and it's like, it is lit, yeah?
Yes, actually, it was an incident on my bus this morning where a kid came on the bus smelling like weed, and we had to get an administrator on the bus to figure out who it was.
How often does that happen where you smell, like, you walking down the hallway and next thing you know, it's like, I smell, what is this I smell? What is going on? How often does that happen? And for you all, so and I'll just ask you all this. So y'all now know what it smells like, right? Like if someone were to be smoking weed, you would instantly know. Kind of like if you smell a cigarette, you instantly know, oh, that's a cigarette. Oh, that's a cigar. No, that's weed. Y'all know that smell now already, huh? Why should you have to get used to that? Because there is a such thing as high on contact. You don't even have to smoke it yourself, and it's in the air, and you're inhaling it, and boom. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
It makes me worry about getting sick and not being here anymore.
No, okay, it's concerning. You don't know what's even scarier about it? And we're just still on the top surface. We're talking about weed. We hadn't even gone into the heavy drugs, cocaine and heroin, fentanyl. We hadn't even gone into any of that. We're just talking about weed. But what's scary about it is now people are cutting drugs. So if I've got 5 people that say they want this from me, but I only have enough for 2 people, I'm going to add in some other products to make sure because I know that my demand is larger than my supply, I'm going to make it match up. So then comes when you hear, how many of y'all have heard about drugs being laced? Laced with fentanyl, laced with whatever. Thoughts on that? So now you're thinking you're trying to be cool, and y'all, for real, back to social media again. Because I have a TikTok and because I interact with my students, just TikTok. I oftentimes see these videos of kids smoking. Y'all see videos of kids smoking?
Yes.
What's the urge to try and record yourself doing everything and showing off like it's cool, like it's lit? That's what everybody say. We lit. What is lit about that? I mean, go ahead.
It looks cool, but it could really kill you. Cause I almost had someone die about their weed getting laced and stuff. Yeah, they was recording it and got in trouble by the school, their parents, everyone in their family. Really.
Was it a friend? Is your friend okay? What did that
Something
do?
like
What did that do to you, knowing that? Were they live? So they were live on the internet.
Story.
They posted on their story, smoking, and things went left real quick.
Their parents found out.
That is just mind blowing to me that even happens, that even occurs. So now even going over a little more, and we talk about opioids, which can start off as, let me go to the doctor. I got a bad pain. Let me get some pain pills, and then that turns into something else, and now we've got an addiction problem with drugs, with opioids, with relief. What is that? Like, talk to me. What's that like, living? I mean, y'all have to live this every day when it comes to drugs.
It's not good knowing that you could potentially die doing all this.
Same thing, it makes me think about being in the classroom where I see students, because you're allowed to have bottled waters, I see students drinking water, and later on I find out that not only was it not water, it was vodka. And it was vodka that had, the little packets that you put, like your Kool-Aid packets, they put it in and make it flavored. And I'm thinking, here I am looking at you thinking you're drinking bottled water, and you get lit in class. Like, do you think that kids don't understand? Well, of course they don't understand. Your brain is still developing. You're not fully developed as a teenager, as your body's changing because of puberty, but also your brain is changing. So if all you doing is coming to school or staying home or hanging out on the weekend and you smoking weed and getting high, what are you doing to your brain cells?
It can cause your brain not to focus sometimes and probably get distracted easily.
Have any of you ever had someone that gets high ever tell you how they felt?
Yes.
Yeah? All right, so let's start down here and then we'll just go across. Tell me what the person told you.
My brother, he said somebody put weed in the weed, and when he got done smoking, he could feel his body.
Say it a little louder, baby.
He said somebody put weed in the weed, and after he got done smoking, he could feel his body.
So somebody put lean in the weed, and when he got done, he couldn't feel his body. Okay. All right, share. That's scary. I want to always feel my body. That's scary. Go ahead, baby.
It feels like you're going places, like your brain is spinning around and stuff. That's what my sister told me.
Okay, spinning around. All right, go ahead.
My friend telling me that when you get high, sometimes it feels great. Like all the pain that you've been feeling lately, it just goes away, and you're having the most funnest time ever.
So I like that you mentioned that part about it as a way to escape, almost like people are with alcohol. It's an addiction that people have and become where you depend on it. You gotta have it.
Do you get a relief out of it?
To get a relief. Do you think sometimes people do these things to escape reality?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Have you ever known anyone to say, I'm doing this and this is why and this is what it makes me feel? Yeah?
My big brother, yesterday he was smoking, and then when he got done, he couldn't walk properly. He kept falling, and he said it got rid of pain, but it caused more pain.
All right. And that wraps up today's session of Reading with Mrs. Richardson.